purpose. Now, the rule is this. I'm not going to share this recording with everybody. So please make sure you jot copious notes. Or if you have any questions, ask. I'm not going to share this copy on the Facebook group as well. So people thought that, oh yeah, I can always watch the replay. No, there's no such thing called replay. The reason why I'm doing this is the discussion is meant for you guys who are here tonight. What's the point of watching a replay where it's none of your business? That's the reason why I said, if you can't show up, too bad. You notice that the K would like to say this, too bad. I don't give a damn. Why? Because you see my N is the lowest. So the reason why I want to show you this BANKCODE thing by putting your BANKCODE out is you can tell, you can see, you can sense, you can feel what this BANKCODE is all about. If I say to you that I don't give a damn, I don't care, likely the person's empathy is low. When the empathy is low, the N should reflect that. I'm going to be a fairy K tonight, which I am. My score is 25 out of 25, by the way. So I am. I want to show you this phase first. And some of you have questions about, oh, how do I adjust my behavior? I will talk about that tonight. So I show you my original color first so that you can tell that this guy is really a basket. Okay, so thank you, no problem. So if you are outside, no problem, that's fine. As long as you understand, you explain, I'm okay. Okay, so let's start. Number one, the case don't like this. Okay, so I do attract quite a lot of case tonight. You will feel that whatever I said to you may be uncomfortable. Why? Because I'm asking you to go and connect with other people, and the K will say, hey, I mean, please, please, please. I like to live in my own life. I like to enjoy myself. Me, myself, and I are my team. Ask me to connect with people. Come on, no way. But the thing is this. The reason why this group is very, not this group, but the whole BSE Facebook group is very interesting to me is that those people who tell me the biggest problem about their business is they want to learn how to close sales. Okay, I got this. But if you don't want to connect with people, you expect by working on your email, just type a few things while you can sell like hot cookie. Forget it, that is not going to happen. If you do not like to talk to people, if you are not comfortable in communicating with people, I'm talking to the case, you will find that connecting with people, which is tough for you already, will lead you to the outcome of very hard in closing sales. Because closing sales, as I said in Unstoppable, and incidentally, when I was looking at the Facebook group right now, David is actually playing my video in Unstoppable group. So I'm speaking there, I'm speaking to you guys. This is very interesting. I said in Unstoppable, whereby sales is a conversation. Remember this. If you do not connect with people, no conversation, you can't close sales. Okay, so I'm making a very big fuss about this conversation thing because if you don't like to converse, I'm sorry, you need to work on yourself. Okay, there's nothing I can do and there's nothing I can help you. You need to accept. First of all, accept. Then seek ways, find ways to adjust your behavior. Okay, so I know there are a few people who are not here last month. You don't know what is going on. So I want to actually talk about a couple of things. So for formality's sake, number one, I want to share with you something. I'm a data person. The case loved it. Okay, so let me just share with you the screen. Take a look. You will find that I'm very sticky of asking you guys to answer question after one question. Why? Because for 17 people who registered tonight, I know how many B's, how many A's, how many N's, and how many K's. I know the percentage. So tonight, the percentage is wrong. I make a mistake here. By right, that should be the other way. So this is 7 out of 17, or this is 2 out of 17. Let me just instantly change that. And then this is 7 out of 17. So tonight, we have 41.18% of the people who are K primary. In business, if you don't know your data, if you don't make decisions based on data, you will suffer. The A's like to make decisions fast. Heck care what the data. Some of you ask me, Jack, where do I find the link to register? Jack, where do I find this piece of information? The A's don't pay attention to details. If you don't pay attention to details, in business, you will suffer. If you don't like data, get someone who is good at data to help you manage it. I'm speaking to the A's. Okay? And the reason why I'm able to run this class without guessing is because I ask every single one of you one question. What is your specific outcome for this session tonight? Everybody responded. Why? Because I turned the required button. You have to answer in order to register. So some of you may think that, well, I'm so nice to people, like I wrote a very nasty post a week ago on Facebook. I'm saying that this guy connected with me on LinkedIn, give me some shit direct message, and there was nurturing people telling me, wow, Jack, you're so harsh. How come you're so rough to these people? Yeah, because it doesn't make sense to me. I will explain that later. I demand numbers. I demand answers. And then I ask also specific questions that you have. And a lot of you actually give me specific questions. Awesome. It means that tonight I can answer this question. How many of you realize that when I have all the data, I'm not very nervous about what I'm supposed to do? And when you run your virtual events, if you imagine you are very concerned about what data or what contents you have, tonight I'm just answering questions. Done. I can spend easily 2 hours. Last month, how many of you recall that I did 2.5 hours? 2 hours and 25 minutes. Right? I actually promised you that it will be 90 minutes. I overran like hell. But tonight, I set my expectation not more than 120 minutes. So I want to set the expectation that by 10:30, we are done. The deal is this. If you don't demand data from your prospect, if you don't ask what they want, you think that this is what they need. I said it many times to different groups of people. So I can't remember whether I have told you guys before. Some of you may have heard this many times from me, if you're as my students, my mentees. I say it for people who don't know me, first time you're seeing me. In order to close sales, you must ask what they want. You must ask what they want and give them what they need. It's not giving what you think they need. It's not the case. Many people thought that because in the first place, I don't want to communicate with these people. I don't want because I don't like. Okay, fine. So you are assuming that this is perhaps something they need. So you give them what you think they need, but this is not what they want. No matter how many courses you have attended on sales, whether it's BANKCODE, then lost high ticket closing, you will not close because you're not giving what they need. Oh, sorry, I say again, you are not giving what they want. That's why insist on asking your prospect, what do you want? I don't care what bank code you have. I don't care what's a primary code. This is a very simple marketing lesson. You need to ask. And some of you actually told me on Facebook or just the public and say, is there a way to find out the person's bank code without talking to that person? Who will ask the question? The K asked the question. Why? How do I know? Because you don't want to touch people. It's how good I am to tell by asking me that question, I know which code is talking. But some of you then last month said, Jack, I want to be like you. Can you give me some clue how to become like you? You can't. I have been with BANKCODE since 2012. I have immersed this thing for so many years. So of course, I have certain level of mastery. I won't say I'm there, I'm somewhere. If you are starting this journey tonight, for the very first time, you have heard of it, you cracked your code, which is why you're here, but you still are not very sure what BANKCODE is about, you can't be like me. Because I just happen to be earlier than you in your journey. It's not that I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, no. It's just that my learning journey has started earlier than yours. That's it. Does it mean that you cannot play catch up? No, you can. The question is that how are you going to do it if you want to truly mastering this? Okay? All right. So for those who have not gone through this process before, number one, I want you to, like every one of you said that you have gotten this, right? Okay, so whether in your hard disk or you print it out, I don't care. Yes, good. Okay, good. So this is your 24 page. Okay, so this 24 page, I want you to first of all ask yourself this question. Comment on the chat. How many of you have finished reading or at least skimming through all 24 pages? Comment on the chat, yes or no. Put on chat. All 24, good. Sriram was attended a class last month. So I asked the question. Yeah, good. Why? This is interesting because last month, a lot of no's. This one, quite a lot of yeses. Okay, good. All right, so good. Half. I love the fact Gia said half. Good. Which half? First half or second half? Which half? First half or second half? I don't know. Okay, half means something to me. Okay, good. All right. So I want you to go through this process. Number one, understand that there are 4 codes. How come we have 4, not 8, not 9, not 3, not 2, not 1, but 4? It is because the foundation of BANKCODE follow something called the temperament. This is something that if you want to study the history, Hippocrates in 400 BC actually came up with the 4 temperaments to identify different ways to heal someone because Hippocrates he's a medical doctor. So we follow that concept to come up with 4 codes. There's a whole history on that. And that's why we code it in such a way that we don't call them color. Okay, it's not color code because there's a personality assessment called color code. But we happen to use these 4 colors, the blue, the red, the yellow, slightly orangey or yellow, and then the green color. And we call it as blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. Okay, so that's how we got bank. Okay, this is just a little bit history. Unless you are interested in history, I will just go ahead. Okay, so number one, I want you to go through page 4. Okay, so some of you asked like why I mentioned page 4, right? So page 4, for those who have not done this masterclass before, this is your first time, go to page 4 and look at your 4 codes. If you remember, when you join BSE, Business Skills for Entrepreneurs Group, BSE Facebook group, I'm very particular with question number 3. And most people, some of you might be part of them, most people click to join the group, but you don't answer all questions. You remember, if you don't answer all questions, what did I do? Immediately, someone would send you a private message. Please answer all 3 questions, bracket required, before we accept you to BSE Facebook group. And I got 2 people who actually bluffed me. When they answered question number 3, what did they say? They say bank, B-A-N-K. Some of you, your BANKCODE tonight is okay. I only have 1 person with bank, B-A-N-K. And you know why I know? Because first of all, you cracked the code. That's why I have all the code from all of you. Number 2, B-A-N-K in that order is rare. So if it happens to be a B-A-N-K, I will ask these 2 questions. Number 1, did you actually do the assessment properly? Or number 2, well, is it really by chance you are B-A-N-K? I'll ask these questions to make sure that the B-A-N-K is real. Why? Because there are few people I know in my life, and I know one of you is here tonight, happens to be B-A-N-K. It's that order. Okay? And what I'm saying is, therefore, when you want to get somebody's details, from BANKCODE perspective, I want you to start asking yourself, what if I'm able to know the BANKCODE of this person before I even start thinking of how to talk to him or her? So it's kind of our habit, our practice, our best practice. No matter what we do, the number 1 thing is that I need your code. I'm happen to talk to someone in Singapore on Monday, and he is struggling with sales, and I'm supposed by my referral talk to him and see whether I can close him for some program. So I'm doing a sales call on Monday. Guess what I did for the first thing? Can you crack the code? This is my standard practice. You don't crack the code, I don't talk to you. You will find that this is a very good practice. You don't crack the code, I don't talk to you. Okay, so this is why you see that the BSC Facebook group have this particular requirement. And does it mean that everyone will crack the code? No, they don't crack the code. I just delete them, I just remove them. Because you don't comply with my rule, I'll just kick you out. Okay, so coming back, look at your 4 codes. Some people bluff me by putting BANK, but it's not meant to be. Some people actually told me they are nurturing. Some people told me, I think I'm action. I think. I want, if you cannot remember your code, go and crack again. Because these 4 colors or 4 letters are very important. The first one on top, so all of you look at your 4 letters now. The first one is called the primary. There's a particular name for that. It's called primary. Okay? So when you see your primary is the K and the B, if I were just to ask you to know, to ask you this question, how many of you actually know the difference between a left brain and a right brain person? Left brain, right brain. So I'm doing something different tonight as opposed to last month, because last month I didn't ask the question. Creative versus logic. Jinsei has been with me for a while, so please do not answer another question too fast. You're too fast already. Okay? So you see my code, KB. Some of you are KB. Some of you are BK. Primarily, you're operating based on task, focused. You're operating primarily based on logic. Okay? So you see that my code tells me that I'm a very, I won't say very, but I'm a logical person. What is the problem of a logical person? Or what is the challenge of a logical person? If you don't like to check, you can actually unmute yourself and say, because it's just so many people here, don't worry. I don't restrict people to unmute yourself. Okay? So when you say rigid, need fast data, not emotional. Wow, Alice, not so bad lah. We are human beings, not emotional. We do. But we are not as emotional as some people. Insensible, wow, KY. All the KBC, I feel very bad. Will be crying like tears. Like, okay, first question is that do you think the KB or BK will cry? Do you think KB or BK cry? Human being, of course they will cry. Okay, they will. So emotional, like when I watch movie, I'll be in tears too. Like the thing is this, the first thing about KB is that they're operating based on logic. So therefore they are less sensitive, not insensitive. Okay, they're less emotional, not emotional. If you are using all these extreme words, then you make the KB feel absolutely bad. They are less emotional. They are less sensitive. Notice the languaging. Don't say that they are not emotional, they are insensitive. Why? It's like a bucket of water. Pew! Okay? BK don't care, KB don't care. Well, the thing is this, remember the whole bottom line I'm asking all of you tonight to consider. When you are struggling in sales, you need to connect with people. One of the biggest problems for KB and BK are they don't like to talk to people. So the first thing is that the logic says, I need facts, I need data. So give me the facts, give me all the numbers first before we talk. Okay, so this is what I did. I get all the facts from all of you. I still have to talk to you tonight, right? You cannot just permanently collect data and think of how to talk to that person, because the KB loves this question. Think of how to talk to the person. And 2 nights ago, I have a client from Germany. And it so happened that last night, another client from Europe told me the same thing. And both of them said this. What is the biggest problem in your business right now? And they said, sales. I don't know how to get more sales. Okay, so what are you going to do? I will think about it. In fact, today on my TikTok channel, I actually talk about this. The moment you say, I think about it, what happened? You just think about it, no? You just think about it again, no? And you continue thinking about it, no? But does that solve your problem? No. Then what are you going to do? I don't know. Let me think about it. See, the cycle, the loop is there. So when you are in this loop called I will think about it, and you can't come out to solve the problem, then you're permanently in this rat race called I'm thinking about it. And you know who is the best in these 4 codes to do that? Who is the expert? The majority of you tonight here, the case. The case love this, I think about it. So beware whether you are in that loop. So I told the clients, hey, you don't need to think about it. Why? Because if you think about it, you know the answer, you don't need to think about it already. Isn't it true? So what do? Go and ask. If you want people to join you, to help you, go and ask someone who knows this and that, and so that they can help me. Go and ask. Don't just think about it, because by thinking about it, you're solving the problem by yourself. It doesn't work. Go and ask people. But the K's and B's don't like to ask people. That's the problem. So this is called pushing the person out of box, or put in some way, put in a better way to the blueprint sounds better to them. Expand their comfort zone. The blueprint hates to jump out of that box. The action has no problem of thinking outside the box or be out of the box, because in the first place, they don't even know where the box is. Okay, the blueprint says, I will always be living comfortably in the box. Never ask me to jump out, because if you ask me to jump out, I will die. So for blueprint, if you notice that your prospect is a blueprint, you use this languaging called expand your comfort zone. Okay, so blueprints are more willing to expand their comfort zone because you didn't ask them to jump out of the comfort zone. Okay, so on the other hand, if your code, let me just see here, if your code happens to be A and N, which is the other side, so some of you mentioned that it is creative. The right brain is not very matchy for the A's and the N's. I would say that the A's definitely look for variety. So variety signals creativity, okay? Or possibilities, whatever you like all these words, or options or choices, because that's what A stands for. However, for N's, is it creative? I don't think so. N has nothing to do with creativity. Unless you're talking to an or NA, it means that the A is the second code, or A is the first code followed by N. Yes, that person may be creative. So what I want to illustrate about the first 2 codes, it means that even though your primary is K, your primary is A, you want to watch out your second code. Because here is one thing that you may want to notice. What if you are AN? Right brain? Yes, right brain, because you will be feeling. When you speak to the AN, you don't ask them to think. They can't think. They feel. And the KBs, they can't feel. They think. So if you are coaches, take note. When you're speaking to someone like me, you don't ask me to feel, because I will feel nothing. No, I mean, I can feel something, okay? I'm a human being. All I'm saying is that your dominant languaging is not about feeling. If you're speaking to the BK, Junxian, how do you feel tonight? Feel see me. You mean feel? You mean feel my stomach? Like they will come back with all this response. Okay? So when you know that the prospect is a BK or KB, talk to them in a thinking mode, a logical mode. Give them some facts, give them some statistics, give them some research. Okay? But if you're talking to the A's and the N's, don't ask them to think, especially the nurturing. Nurturing needs to feel. Hard to feel, can feel. I know one of my BANKCODE clients told me this. She said that the best way of training yourself to feel is go and watch Korean movie. I don't know how true it is because I don't follow Korean movies. Like those, like when you watch the Singtel showing you Korean movie Singtel in Singapore, like the lady, the mother will be in tears, taking a t-shirt, those kind. So if you want to train yourself to feel, that might be a way. How do I train myself? When cinemas are reopening in Singapore in 2 days' time, go and watch those cartoon movies. Those cartoon movies has a very profound story at the back. It's not just for fun. The cartoon movies are not for fun. They are very, very big, profound story at the back. And at that point, touch your heart and let it flow, let it feel. And after about 10 years of practices, you feel very fast. I'm sorry, 10 years. Okay? No, I'm not saying 10 years of like is that a joke? You need to allow your heart, the emotion to flow. You need to allow that. So you notice that the way I say is not like you need to feel, you need to allow your heart to flow. This is why some of you find that, oh, if I am a BK, can I switch to talk to people who can feel? Yeah, it's a different languaging. I switch completely. Let the heart, allow the heart to feel. Because you give yourself permission to feel, not me, Lin Bei, give you permission to feel. Okay? So notice your first two code, okay, and see what they say. So in your room, in this room tonight, we have got the ANs, very nice. We have got KBs, very nice, like very KB AN. Okay? We have got one NB. We have got one AK. So it's like one on left, one on right. Jiala, what am I supposed to do? Okay, so for these, let me explain. There's something that you will not have access unless you go for the actual education. I mentioned to Raymond on the Facebook group, I'll talk to Randy as well. This is called your advanced assessment. So there is such a thing called advanced assessment, which consists of detailed questions. So you can actually get the score. When are you going to get this? Like, is it available? Yes, if you are a student of BANKCODE live training, you can get this. It is part of the package. If you are a bank iOS coaching client, yes, you will be part of this, you will get this. But this is not free. Okay, so unfortunately, I can only show you, I cannot tell you. This advanced assessment will give you the score. So I'll give you some ideas. So mine is 25 for K, 24 for B. Let me just recap what did I put on my A's and N's. Because it's so low that I don't even want to mention this. My A is 8. My N, 6. Out of 25. So 25 out of 25 for K, 23 out of 25 for blueprint, 8 over 25 for action, 6 over 25 for nurturing. So I'm a hardcore, labyrinth, emotionless, totally nonsensical, and don't give a F person. That's me. Okay? But how do I know? Well, when I have finished the advanced assessment, I look at my score, my last two are single digit. Okay? Some of you may find that, but I don't know whether it's true or not. But of course, because you don't know your score could well be, I'll just give an example, like Jun Xian's KBAN is very similar, it's actually same as mine, but Jun Xian's KBAN may be like this. The K is 20 out of 25, the B is 19 out of 25, the A is 19 out of 25, also 18 out of 25, and the N happens to be 17 out of 25. So he is quite balanced based on the advanced assessment. So you get feedback like this sometimes. Like, I don't get the K conclusion that you mentioned, Jack, because like I can feel that. Sometimes I can switch easily. Yeah, because you score like that, of course you can switch very fast, very easily. So it depends on your score. That's why there is an advanced assessment to be there to give you a more accurate picture. So when you crack the code, you get this 24 page, it does give you some idea. Without the advanced assessment, what do? You have to ask yourself by reading the report, does that sound like you? So if it doesn't sound like you can crack the code again, which I don't recommend. All you need to do is just to ask yourself, okay, it's like I do display my behavior like a blueprint. Although my B is on the 3rd and the 4th, I do. So it could be because your blueprint score is very similar to your second. It could be. So that is the conclusion you can draw. Until you're ready to go for this education, then you can see the advanced assessment and you have an idea how to do that. Okay, so Raymond, I'll answer this question later. Hold on to that first. The third one is very important. The third one, we have a lot of discussion last time. The third one is called the stress code. Stress. Stress code means if you activate your stress code, the third one, it means that you will exhibit that types of personality behavior. So my A is the third one. But by the way, because my A and N are very close, so sometimes I can be very nurturing when I'm stressed. But Junsen will laugh at me and say, "Fuck you, please do not say all this, because you are not." Okay, I accept. So I'm the A type, very common when I'm under stress, because I'll push people to do things. I will actually do the things myself. I will make fast decisions. This is all the A's thing. So I know when I'm stressed. When I'm exhibiting all the A actions behavior, I know I'm under stress. That's why I keep saying to the last group of people, I'm chill. Even though I'm under a few deadlines, I'm still chill. Because I know if I'm not chill, I activate my action, the team will suffer. I'll push them that all of them will be at the edge of the cliff. And you know what? Let me help you, and all fall. So this is the disaster thing I know for my team. So I always say chill. I'm chill. Okay? So the last one, what is the significance of the last one? The significance of the last one means that under a normal situation, not under stress, you do not display that type of behavior. Okay? You do not. Doesn't mean that you would not. You just do not. Does it mean that you can? Yes, you can. Like, how do you do it? That's the question that KB will ask. I will talk about this later, because KB loves to talk about the how. Tell me the processes, step-by-step formula to lead me to this. I was looking at one question here that's very interesting. And I don't even need to know whether it's a BK, it's definitely a KB or BK's question. I just want to know the step to connect with the prospect. I was like, what do you mean by the step to connect with the prospect? It's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Because when you connect with the prospect, you just connect. The step is just one step, connect. So what are the steps to connect with the person? I had no idea with that question. And you know who asked the question? It's the BK. And confirm when I see the question, there you go, it's a BK or KB there asking the question. So some of you ask like, how the hell do I know your BANKCODE without even asking you? Because the way you ask question already tell me. Remember, I've been in this business long enough that I do know certain things that you are starting to learn. That's why I pick this up pretty fast. Okay, so once again, on page 4, the first two are your dominant, which means that you exhibit this type of behavior under normal situations most of the time. And the third one is called a stress code. It will activate this third one when you're under stress. The fourth one is the one that you don't really use it or exhibit very often, unless some context or situation requires you to be. So when I'm going to the coaching culture, I'm very nurturing. I care for people. How many of you noticed that to build this community? Some of you, thank you for your lovely messages and acknowledgement of how I help you. Do you know that to build this community, how much effort do I need to put as a nurturing person? I mean, Elsa and I were in the mastermind last night. We were talking about building community. So now, since Elsa is here, I give you some more, which you don't get it from elsewhere, because we are talking about BANKCODE. We said that in order to build a Facebook group, it requires you to have something called community management skill. Some of you may think that you build a Facebook group. Okay, yeah, okay, Facebook group, first of all, go to Facebook, log on. Step number 2, look for the group. Step 3, press the button, create the group. And then now you have a Facebook group. And some of you will think that, oh, therefore, I just need to create my cover, my nice photo, and I'll start having people coming in and they will rave me, they will engage with me. Forget it. This is not true. You know how much time I have to put there in order to get that type of engagement. And if you know that it actually takes me a long time to do that, you certainly won't enjoy it. Some of you will not enjoy it. Because the amount of effort that I put in, first of all, I need to know your need. I need to find out what you want. I need to have conversation with you. It's all nurturing behavior. Community management is a nurturing behavior. At the same time, blueprint requires blueprint, because there are certain times that posts will pop up. There are certain times you will see something happen in the group. How do I manage my time? If I'm an action, I'll just anyhow, anytime I feel like post, I will post. You can't do that on any social engagement. There's always a timeline. And who is the best person to follow the guideline? Blueprint. So if your code is an NB, you are highly likely to be a very awesome community manager. If you are BN, awesome too, because NB, BN to me is the same. But if your code, let's say your code happens to be NB and BN at the back, and when you want to create a Facebook group, then better get someone with high NB and BN help you. That's the key. Okay? So there's another thing that I didn't talk about last time. But this time, happens to have one NB here, and you know who you are. So I'm going to explain. That's why I bring this up. Okay? So on page 4, just notice your 4 codes. So next time when you are asked what is a bank code, like my case, I don't say I'm a knowledge person. I'm a KBAN. You always mention your 4 codes, because there is a reason. You're not just a K, you're KB, you're KBAN. So if like Wendy is KANB, I'm a KANB. Why? Because when you talk to someone with bank code knowledge, the person will know your stress code, will also know your first, second, and also know your last, so that they know how to talk to you. And they can see when you're displaying, when you're exhibiting certain behavior, okay, are you under stress or not? So you do not tell other people in the bank code community, I'm a K, I'm an A, I'm an N. You need to tell them the 4 codes each, because there is a reason why we do that. And in your training, you notice that why I'm insisting everyone to put on your code is because when you ask question later, or when sometimes I'm asking your question, when you tell us when you let the room know your response, I will call for that moment called magic moment. I say, see, this is what the case says. So catch. Some of you ask, how do you catch? This is through the real life experience. When I hear something, when I see something, I catch, I will let everybody know. So whatever I'm going to share, I will stop, I will assist the situation, I'll let you know. This is what exactly the K just did. Okay, so then you are aware of that. Okay? All right, so next thing you see on page 5, this is page 5 of page 5. Yeah, page 5. So this is something we call, if your first code is K like mine, you see that what does knowledge represent? Okay, what does knowledge represent? So give you some tips on this so that you know. Number 1, when you speak to a knowledge, you can't ask me that kind of question. So let me show you the screen on this question, which is still there. And some people actually ask me why it doesn't make sense. So let me talk about this. Like the case will be laughing at me because say, yeah, this is exactly like me. I know, yeah, because we are the case. So this is a post that I did on my Facebook, which I since then privatized. I just privatized today. This is someone who DM me on my LinkedIn. Okay, so the post may be a bit small, but this is the largest I can zoom. See why I can zoom this further. Zoom in. Okay. Okay, I can zoom in further. So hi Jack, I hope you are well and safe. I would love to see if there are open sales roles at. This is what I'm very perturbed. This is the code. This is the link you guys use to crack the code. It's not a company. It's not a place. What are you talking about? So I have 10 years of sales BD experience, and it would be great if we can set up an exploratory chat to discuss. Thanks, Jack, and looking forward to speaking. You're speaking to the K. The first thing is that I have a big problem of you telling me that I have a sales role open at a link. Say, what are you talking about? So when I posted to the Facebook, some of the nurturing personality said, I don't see any problem with this. Yeah, because you don't bother the details. There's the action personality ladies, because I know her BANKCODE too. He said there's no detail, there's nothing wrong with this. Please enlighten me. I say, huh? What are you talking about? I'm nice. I am nice. Look at my response. Your standard template does not make sense to me. I just said that. Please rephrase your question. Okay? So why am I nice? Why did I say I'm nice? Number one, the old Jack with no empathy will already say F you. Your stupid comments just don't make it, just doesn't make any sense. You know, I'm a very blunt person, so I use F word like that too. But the point is, he's a nice guy. He say hello to me. If I'm like that, he'll be very devastated. He may kill himself. Let's not kill another person by using my power of words. So I just mildly, gently just reply, can you please rephrase your question? I'm nice. I'm using my nurturing to calm me, to help me out, not to be the bastard. But I cannot help myself to be so nice and didn't address the point. So I just said that your standard template didn't make sense. And then I got nurturing telling me that, wow, Jack, you're so cruel. How do you showcase his message to the whole world and let his poor thing exposed to the whole world, and you don't know how he will feel? And I'll reply, thank you. Your nurturing is speaking to you. I understand. I can understand how you feel. Notice our user. I understand how you feel because the nurturing is speaking. I typically like to feature my students' case studies or sometimes the case studies in real life as a study to help my students, to notice what I say, help my students to gain awareness of their language, communication, and connection. Notice what I use? Help my students communicate and connect. I'm speaking her code. So that's why we say in BANKCODE, you want to live the code and speak the code to that person. Some of you actually told me, I want to master BANKCODE because I want to discover myself. Yep, this is the first step. But in BANKCODE, why we are different from other tools is because other tools also talk about yourself, which is me. But who is the most important person in the sales cycle? Is that you or is that the other guy? Whose code is more important to crack? Is that you or is that him or her? You know the answer. So that's why in BANKCODE we say, how do I actually get someone's code? Yep, you can invite the person, give them the link, and ask them to crack. Okay, some of you are very nice. You use my link to crack the code, and then you know what happened is that the leads come to me. Thank you very much. That's why I did the Facebook live Facebook training the other day. I say for those you don't want the leads to come to me, you want to capture the email address, I seriously want you to consider as a subscriber. Because when you are a subscriber, you will have the link, your own link, and you can send this link out to people to crack the code, and then you get the email address yourself. If you are using my link, the emails come to me, I will say thank you. Thank you for helping me to generate leads. But it doesn't help you. So I'm a very transparent person here. I'm not here saying that let's not tell them this so that the leads can come to me. Like this is actually one of the strategies we teach in our community. Get your friends to share the link so that their friends will crack the code and you get the leads. I don't do that because it's not fair unless you have the full picture. Because what if you decide to be a subscriber? And then you will say that, Jack, you are cheating me now. No, I'm not. That's why I'm very upfront to tell you. Once you become subscriber, you will get your own link. You can do what I do, ask people crack code, the emails will come to you. And the reason why emails is important is because Facebook group is not permanent. Zuckerberg can say one fine day, I don't feel like to have Facebook group anymore. I like to be a father of 4 or 5 because Priscilla wants to have more baby. Sorry, Facebook shut down. Bye. But there is also one recent example. TikTok is being shut down in India, right? You know that, right? Some of you know. TikTok is being shut down, not shut down yet, but being shut down in the United States. Right, Sriram, you can talk about this, right? Because it is in your country, right?
Yeah, it's been
So,
shut down. I can't even access my account. If I
okay.
log in, I'll just show it to you so that you'll find this really funny in a way.
Oh.
I think you can see this.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. This
Just,
is how it is.
yep. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So you see that the thing about a business, what is the most important asset in a business? It's actually your email address. Well, put in this way, what is the most important online assets in your business? Well, think about it. Yeah, I go to Melvin's X Factor. Of course, it's me. This is my core value. This is what I stand for. So I build my lifeboat unsinkable business. Yes. Or I remember Reeve. Reeve say funnel, so I need to build a funnel. Yes, funnel, awesome. Or you go to talk about systemization. Yes, James Fu, I need system. And then, oh, David Tra talk about video. And Jet talk about closing sales. So by the way, what is the most important thing? What is the most important online asset of a business? It's not all these five, it's the email address. Because without email address, you build a funnel for what? Then there's nothing coming in. If you do not know how to close the sales, I can teach you how to close the sales. But if you don't have leads, I can't teach you because the problem is the leads, not closing. Right? You can use video to do all this lead gen. Okay, hi, today I feel like talking about sex. And let me tell you 3 benefits of why sex is important. Number 1, number 2, number 3. If you agree, we comment below. I'll send you a checklist. And this is what we teach. But then problem is that it doesn't mean that they'll give you the email. They'll just say me, and you just give the checklist. By the way, you need to give me the email first before I can send you the checklist. Oh, then I don't want already. Do you see that whatever we say makes sense? But the bottom line is you must have something, the ingredient, that's called the email address. If you don't have email address from someone, you can't do. In Unstoppable, I was so happy that I was able to get 406 emails from some of you who actually did that. And then after this, I still continuously getting these coming. So I'm happy to say that right now, I have a 4-figure list on my BANKCODE that I can use some of the funny thing to do, send email to people, get people to join my Facebook group, and then give some values to these people on the list, do some campaign. See, with the emails, you can do a lot. Otherwise, without the emails, you are cracking your head and say, I need to do Facebook Live. I need to do video. Reeve, can you help me build a funnel, please? I need the funnel. I want the sweet one, 3 tiers, and then there's a back end. Make sure that the back end leads to another program. Thank you. But nothing coming. Okay, so this is why I make a big fuss about the lead gen thing. You need emails. Okay. Coming back to the report, the other thing is about your triggers. Okay, so I'm going through some of the triggers and tripwires. So in BANKCODE, we have got these 2 things called tripwires and triggers. Triggers means, oh, Jun said my energy is so awesome to extreme today. No, my energy is okay. I've been doing this for the whole freaking week. Okay. All right, so anyway, coming back to triggers. What's the definition of triggers? So for triggers, it means that when you say this, your prospect's eyes will go wide, open wide. Wow. Or the person will say, oh my goodness, oh, awesome. Because triggers is trigger the desire to agree with you or to do something based on your call to action. Triggers. So for example, when you talk to the blueprint, what is the triggers to the blueprint? Well, you know what, Junxian? In the moment, I'm going to offer you something. Like some people actually will teach you how to buy something called a lifetime opportunity. I know that you as a high blueprint, you don't give a damn of what is this lifetime opportunity. All I want you to understand is that this investment that you're going to make is going to be very safe. If you don't believe me, just understand that I've already helped 200 people in this process. I can give you all the testimonials to show that this works. But just in case that these 200 people things you feel that you're still not working just because you are fearful, I can understand a fear of failure and a very bombastic word called fear of success. All I would do is this: if you invest today and if it doesn't work, you follow whatever I ask you to do. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't generate the result anyway, I'm happy to refund you your investment plus $1,000. Sorry for wasting your time. This is a blueprint script. If you know that person is a blueprint. For the action, Junxian, action. Hey, come on, man, let's have a very good discussion. I'm not going to waste your time because your time is very precious. I'm going to do it only once and for all. Bottom line is that if you say yes to me, trust me, you are able to make $1,000 very easily and effortlessly. And I'm going to put you on my priority list because you know why? I'll treat it as my VIP clients because you are second to none. You are the best of the best. I'll give you all the royal treatment. Deal or no deal? That is an action script. But imagine you've used the action script to speak to a blueprint or say, oh, do you have any testimonials? I want to see any. How long have you been in this business for a long time? Are you in this business for a long time? I don't care what you say or bottom line or this. Come on, give me all the things. So this is the reason why when you're speaking to a prospect, the triggers is their eyes will be, wow, this is really like me. You're talking to me. Yeah, I like this. All the facts and information. Oh my God, I love this. Yes. So this is called triggers. On the other hand, tripwires is the opposite. You're speaking to Junxian, and the reason why I use Junxian a lot is because Junxian is my mentee. So I know him, he knows me, we can play, and there's no hard feeling between us. Okay. So for Junxian, if I were to just guess his BANKCODE, he might be displaying some nurturing behavior to me and I got cheated, not because I cheated, it's just that the behavior is nurturing, I thought he's nurturing. And what happened is this, I give him a nurturing script. Junxian, I'm going to do this because there's a big purpose behind. It is a movement. The movement is so big that I don't even know how big it will be. And in a moment, you'll be one of the reputable leaders in our community. You are going to help me to help this group to drive it to a place that we don't know how big it will be. And by doing this, we can contribute to all the suffering dolphins because the dolphins are going to be extinguished if we don't take care of themselves. Understand something? Dolphins are the most intelligent animals on the planet, and we all love dolphins. Would you agree? So if that sounds like you, it feels like this is something you want to be part of me, all you need to do is one thing. Just say yes. I will support you all the way. I will not let you fail because I'm going to hold you accountable. And let's work together and create this big movement. Thank you. Yeah, my tone changed because nurturing doesn't like the shouting. I change. Yeah, I know you're the dolphin because the dolphin is just an example. Making a joke, please. The dolphin is a very good example. You say he's laughing because he doesn't like dolphin, right? You say, want to say something about the script that I use?
Too nurturing, okay.
Too nurturing, don't care. See, too nurturing. So the trigger is if you speak to nurturing, this script, after you practice, after you know exactly what to offer, it will work. However, when you speak to someone who is very low in nurturing, all the dolphins movement, they don't care. So this is what we call trigger. So reason why I'm mentioning this is that if you happen to be a knowledge, your primary is knowledge, because if you haven't trained in BANKCODE, you will likely speak your way, which is the reason why in BANKCODE we say, is it you supposed to speak your code or speak to that prospect's code? Without the BANKCODE training, you will likely speak your own code, so it becomes a K-talk. If it's K talking to a K, no problem. But if it's a K talking to an A, you will be very jealous. Because the A doesn't care what the information it is. I remember this story. So part of my training, I like to talk about the experiences that I have. So in June, I was speaking, early June, early May, not June, because June is unstoppable. Early May, I was supposed to speak in Mauritius. So I got a speaking gig in Mauritius. First time I bring BANKCODE to Mauritius. And this guy is from JCI. So some of you know what is JCI. So this is a JCI chapter in Mauritius, and that guy is an associate director. So he said, let me share with you the history of our organization. And I'm showing you what did we do and grow this chapter to where we are today. And he spent 15 minutes just to talk about the history. With your understanding of David Tra. Let's put David Tra in the picture. Or for that matter, someone who is like David Tra. To entertain 15 minutes of all this history, what do you see about David? Just think, just feel, what would David say? Within the first minute, David will say, can we just cut the chase and go to the bottom line? That's David. I was very patient to listen to his history for 15 minutes. At the end, he said, how do you find this presentation? I say, very awesome. I use my very gentle language, very awesome. And you know why? Because I know your BANKCODE, your primary is K. That's why I'm not surprised that when you introduce your chapter, you give me the history. And know they have spent 15 minutes of your time, precious time, to tell me the history, and I appreciate that. Because I'm a K, I'm patient enough. But imagine you are speaking to someone who is not a K but an A. The person in just the first minute will shut you down and say, cut the chase, go to bottom line. And you won't be given a chance to even talk about the rest of your history. And he said, oh my God, no wonder sometimes when I speak to people, I couldn't finish this. Yeah, that is because you are likely speaking to someone who is like you. Oh my God, thank you for sharing with me. So the trigger is the one that kills the cells. So in the linking case that I show you, do I give the guy a chance? In the good old days, no. You only have one chance to close the sales or at least get me to the next point of contact in the buying cycle. But when you say something wrong, you will kill the deal straight away. No matter what you say later, how awesome it will be, a done deal is a done deal. A gone deal is a gone deal. There's no way you can salvage it back. The thing is that in the business survival stage, you can't afford giving something called triggers and kill the sales, because you don't have a lot of chances in the survival stage. You want to get the money in, close the sales, and move on to the next thing. So knowing how to avoid the triggers, knowing how to avoid the tripwires is very important. Okay, so take note of your report about the triggers and the tripwires. That will be on page 10 and page 11. Okay, so last month I couldn't actually spend more time, because by the time we touched, we were at page 12. It's already 2 hours and 25 minutes. So you see that today I'll rush a little bit, because some of you should know this. Some of you have read the report. Like the reason why I asked you whether you have read the report is most of you have read it. So I just need to point out certain things, and you can go back and just review it. And then you'll find that hopefully it makes sense to you now, or it makes more sense to you now. Okay, so talking about the values, would that change? Like this question, like last month, I got the same question. This month, you see, I got the same question. The answer is that it will not, or it will. It depends on situation. So let me explain why. Because it is a value-based system. BANKCODE is based on values. So when your values change, then by right and by left, the BANKCODE might change. What do I mean by left and by right? It's because how many times do you experience something big in your life? I hope that it's not every day. I hope it's not every month or every year. It could be like once or twice in your lifetime, you experience something very big. And suddenly you see the world in a totally different color. Or you find that your meaning of life or your life purpose has changed. Then the value system shifted, and that will cause the BANKCODE to change. And this is my only explanation. When you see suddenly your meaning of life is, I need to help more people because I unfortunately I've been diagnosed by my doctor that only 6 months to live. That the nurturing part of me, which didn't display in the past, suddenly say that if I don't do this, my life is not complete. You suddenly change your whole value system. Yeah, you may suddenly raise your end and become the primary. You never know. How many of you actually have friends, relatives who suddenly change 180 degrees or 360 degrees because somehow there's something happened in their life? Okay? So this is what I call the change of the value. Now, coming back to the other common questions that I get, that is, let's say our ends, like Junsen and my ends are on the low side. How can we, Alice is also low end. When I say low end, it means that our end is on the last. It doesn't mean it's low. It's just the last one. So we are perceived as not being nurturing. We are perceived, because notice something, our behavior is a perception. How I'm perceived, okay, is how I behave, and you receive my perception reality. So when I do not display the nurturing side of me, it is just because it is natural. Understand something, your first and second are your natural. If you need to exhibit your last code, it is something that is not natural to you. Behavior can always be displayed. You can always exhibit certain types of behavior. Whether it's natural to you or not, you still can do it. The question is that, are you comfortable? Does it require a lot of energy for you to do that? So this is the question that I always get. When I say you can raise your nurturing, all I'm meaning is, what are the things you need to do in order to be more nurturing? So what is nurturing in the first place? Nurturing is all about connection. Okay, so the A's talk about connection by network wide. It's a wide network. I don't need to know this person in depth. Not D-E-A-T-H and not depth. It's depth, D-E-P-T-H, deep. Okay, A go for width, N's go for depth. So for the nurturing, if I'm not able to connect with people deeply, I will feel a sense of loss. Whereas for A, I just want to hang out with people, chill, cool, and fun. So do I know these people very well? Not necessarily, we just want to have fun. So connection can mean two different things. One is depth, one is the breadth or the width. So the nurturing talks about connecting with people. So one thing you did, like one thing in our masterclass last month, I asked Junsen to do this demo that you still remember, is the present exercise. That is, you have a chance to speak to someone. Can you do this exercise with me? All you need to do is stand or sit opposite to each other. Just focus your attention with that person for that moment of time. And without any distraction whatsoever, start connecting with 30 seconds, followed by 1 minute, and then 2 minutes, 4 minutes. And then suddenly you'll find that there's a sense of connection happening. Connection is not easy if you don't know the process. I know the blueprint will say this to me. The thing is this, connection just requires your willingness to be immersed in that present moment, which a lot of people can't do that. Why? Simply put, because the world has a lot of distraction. When I'm talking to you now, do you know that my TV is in front of me? I see all the imageries there. There's a TV advertisement right now. I can see, but I'm looking at you. But my peripheral vision allows me to see the TV while talking to you. But I'm still focusing on this conversation. It means that although there's sound coming from the TV, I'm not listening to this sound at all. I'm actually 100% focusing with all of you right now. That's what I mean by the focus, being present. When you are present, you will sure be able to connect with that person. I'm very sure of this. How do I know? I'm part of this process. I said in last month's masterclass, Kiyosaki and Blair, who did this because Marshall Turber, who is their teacher, asked them to do the present exercise. And Robert and Blair can easily do this in 60 minutes. Sit opposite to each other, be present just for 60 minutes. They can do that very easily. So the question is that if they can do it, why can't you? So the KBs or BKs, if you are struggling with connecting with people, it's because you think too much. Is that fair to say you think too much? What can you do? Don't think? No, think. Learn how to spend that moment of time with that person. With one person at a time, deeply connect. Be present. Don't talk, no smile. Don't do all this funny thing. Okay, just be present. Once you are able to achieve that for a longer period, your connection will be there. So success story for those who are skeptical about this process. So I shared this with last month's masterclass too. I was in Kuching, in David's company doing BANKCODE training. So in the afternoon, I asked the participants, because I have never revealed to them my BANKCODE. So I just asked this question. So by now, a lot of you know what are the BANK now. So can I just ask a question, make a guess. What is my primary BANKCODE? And these people all say nurturing. I was like, wow. People at the back all laugh at me. Okay, so that's good. Thank you. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't notice that while I'm nurturing in front of you. Awesome. But let's suppose this is not right. What would be your second guess? You are definitely action. You look at my code, and the answers they give, nurturing and action. I'm going from the fourth to the third. When I disclosed to them that I'm actually KB, and it was like they couldn't believe it. Why? Because all I'm saying is that you can always adjust. If you have to raise the nurturing at that moment, because you need to be empathetic. The key word is empathy. Nurturing is about empathy. Put yourself in the shoes of the other person and see through that person's eyes what is the current situation. So NLP, we call this second positioning. So for those who know NLP, second positioning. So that is helping you to be more empathetic. By doing this, then your nurturing will go up. It's a very simple thing to talk about. It does take time and practice to do that. So you need to understand. It's very easy for me to say. It's not easy to do. Because the first time when you do it, you will see, hey, Jack, you talk so much. Huh? It has nothing on me there. Yeah, because you only did it for the first time. You got to do it again until you find something and you realize, oh my God, yeah, it started working out. Oh, great. If you need to raise your action, what do? Very simple, because action is all about speed. So when your K is high, you need to think about it. Are you able to trust this time your gut? Make that decision. No, I need more facts. I need the detailed analysis. I need to do all this research before I can make the decision. Yeah, but can you just trust yourself and make that decision knowing that 99% of the intuition is always right? And then experience that. If it's wrong, then go ahead and do research to back you up and rectify it. But for the very first time in your life, are you willing to make a decision first and then do the research later to back up? Okay, go for it. Oh my God, I can make fast decision. Thank you. Yeah. It's very easy for me to push someone to do that. You would not, because this is called the coaching. I did the Facebook Live last Sunday about coaching. Reason is that you can't see the label in when you are in the jar. I'm outside the jar. I can tell you all this because I'm outside the jar. I can see the label. You can't. That's why I say coaching is a must for everybody, because we all have blind spot. I'm coach, although I'm coaching other people, because I can't see I have my own blind spot too. And my coach said, okay, wow. Okay, thank you. I got this. That's what coaching is about. Okay? So when you are AN or NA, so let me just go to the spreadsheet. After a while, after this, I'm going to answer some of the questions. Okay? So what happened is that when yours is AN or NA, I said that for AN and NA, last month masterclass, the one thing that you should be proud of is you are a damn good entrepreneur. You are the entrepreneur's material. When your code is NA or AN, Because entrepreneurs requirement, you need the bank code to be AN or NA, which means the BK or KB, they will feel very bad now. But then I would say that, well, if Jack has been here as a KB and he's been an entrepreneur for almost 10 years, it means it's possible. It's only a question of strategies. But it is indeed an advantage for the NA or the AN to be entrepreneur. Because one thing they like is they like to take risks. They like to help people, which is exactly what entrepreneur is about. Help other people solve the problem and be outrageous. KB lives in the world of security system structure. So KBs are born to be in corporate world. If you use that as a boxing, unfortunately, the corporate employees will live in the KB's world forever. And then the ANs, they can't stand in the corporate world. They want to get out and do something. And that is the natural thing that I see in this country for the last 10 years. Okay, I've been in this country for 26. Last 10 years, I see that the ANs love to go out, don't want to stay in the corporate world. Okay, because to them, they don't like the structure. They don't like all these rules. Rules are meant to be. No, there's no rules anyway. It's not meant to be broken. There are no rules because I decide my own rules. Whereas the B will say, no, rules have to be followed. Because if you don't follow the rules, you get consequences legally. Okay? So that is the classic definition or classic categorization. Then we have this group of what I call the NK and the KN. Tonight, do we have any KN? Yes, we have a KN. Okay, so KN, take note. KN, you need time to think, you need time to feel in order to trust the person. I said it in the last masterclass. I'm saying it one more time for those who couldn't remember. KN requires time to build the trust. He or she does not trust other people easily. He or she will not make a decision fast. That is what is happening for the KN or NK. So there's one thing to add values to you because I know you were here last time. So what happened is that NK for KN and NK, if you want to learn how to sell, you will find very often that selling is a very, very difficult task for you. Naturally, it is tough. Why? I've got a good friend by the name of Kaha. Some of you may know Kaha. Kaha is actually one of David's mentors, by the way. He's a good friend of mine for many years. Kaha, by the BANKCODE, he's also a KN. And Kaha finds very difficult to sell because all he wants is just to continue learning and help other people. Money is not the priority. I never say ants doesn't need money. All I'm saying is that ants' priority in terms of money is not the first. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. So when it comes to closing sales, in the first place, I do not place money as my priority. So I just want to help people. Obviously, when I help, I feel good. So now is the time for me to stretch my hand out and ask for money. I might as well know, because I'm a nice guy. Okay, and I at the same time, you know what happened to me? Because in order for me to help a lot of people, I need to have more skills, more learning. So the KN's life is all about learning and then giving. This becomes the big sin, SIN, in the world of exchange called criminal exchange. You are learning something, pay for this, and you give what you learn to other people for free. Does that make sense? No. It doesn't make sense. So the KN or NK have this fundamental issue they need to resolve. Is the true understanding of exchange. You are very easy to pay, but it's very hard for you to charge. That's why a lot of KNs have financial issues because of that. A lot of NKs that I work with, they have financial issues because of their not willingness to sell and ask for money. They just want to give. Okay, so this is one thing. And then I talk about the AB and the BA, the ABBA, the famous old bank called ABBA, ABBA. So the ABBA, or if yours is AB or BA, what happens is that I call this, you have an internal conflict. Because on one hand, the A loves to spend, the B loves to save. In fact, it's not love to save. The word is not save. The word is hoard. HOARD. Hoard the money. It's like, don't want you. It's not save. Save at least. In some cases, you will spend, right? But hoard means that no matter what, I don't want to spend. So what happens is that you have this conflict called spending and hoarding at the same time. This is called internal conflict. So what happens is that the AB or the BA may, in some situation, face a dilemma that they don't know what to do with their spending habits, and they are in such situation where when they cannot resolve the conflict, they start talking to themselves in some funny thing, and that may give rise to other big problems that will surface. So that is a very interesting thing on BA and AB. The last one I want to talk about is I talk about KN and NK already. I'll talk about this very interesting thing about relationship, because one of you actually asked me how to apply BANKCODE to relationship. So I want to address this tonight. Some of you have, in fact, in this room, because nobody has done my live training, so you have not seen what I did. So I'm going to just talk about this case study that I typically use in my training to you guys. Okay? So this is to illustrate the point in BANKCODE. How many of you have heard of this thing called opposites attracts? Comment on the chat. Opposite sex. Oh, so not opposite sex. Opposites, just opposite attracts. Okay, good, awesome. So let me share with you this story. This story is actually one of our trainer story in Singapore. It's a real story. So if you find that it sounds like unreal, the fact is that this is the real story from them. It's a couple. So the husband is a blueprint. The husband's blueprint's lifestyle is that every single thing that the family wants to spend, he will count how much are we spending. Like the balance sheet, does that make sense? The budget statement, does it make sense? Like everything goes out from the budget, will count. That is the husband. The wife happens to be action. Want the thrill, want the thrill, want all this freedom. Why do they get married in the first place? The story is this. The blueprint husband said to the action wife, wow, your life is not boring because I can see that you have all this adventure. Sometimes life is supposed to be fun. Sometimes life is not like that. Wow, I see you traveling around the world. It's so cool. I love that. The blueprint attracts the action because of that. And then the action said, you know why? I've been traveling, running around, and sometimes life is totally no structure, no rules, no routine. Sometimes I want to slow down to plan. But you see, I found you. Wow, you're such a good organizer. Your life is planning that way. How I wish I can be like you, planning every single damn thing. No, every single thing. So the opposites attract each other and they get married. Okay, so this is the bright side. So the other side, I call this the non-bright side, not the dark side or the wrong side. I got to the non-dark side. This is what happened. How many of you have also heard that the opposite will expel each other? They attract, right? Now they expel. Because when you are with that spouse for a long time, you will start going back to your own self and what you see about your wife, the beauty at the inception of the partnership suddenly turn into nuisance and nonsense. So this is a very classic story that I was told by this couple. There was one fine day, the wife said, darling, you know that our house need a vacuum cleaner, and this vacuum cleaner is old, it's broken, it can't be used. So is that okay if I go to buy a new one? So the husband said, okay, yeah, I agree. The vacuum cleaner is not working, so go and buy a new one, not a problem. Okay. So what do you think about the blueprint husband's mindsets about a vacuum cleaner? Now, how much do you think the vacuum cleaner will cost if you were the blueprint? Comment on the chat. How much would likely a vacuum cleaner cost? Just give me 100. Okay, good. Thank you, Alex. Replacement cost. Wow. Okay. So the blueprint husband's mind is like this. So thank you. So KY, Alice, thank you. Stella, thank you. Okay. So this is what happened. So thank you for all the comments. Okay. So the blueprint husband actually said, yeah, a vacuum cleaner can't be more than this amount. So in his mind, he had got a number called $160. 160. Okay. Doesn't matter it's saying US or what, 160. Okay. So the wife came back with a new vacuum cleaner. Darling, you see that I've got a very brand new, nice vacuum cleaner. Wow, the salesman sold me this vacuum cleaner because it's brand new. And you know what? There's so many functions I don't know how to describe to you. It's just so cool. And husband actually fell off the chair when he saw the vacuum cleaner. Because when the wife told him how much it cost, do you see? Or I don't know what's the brand. The thing is that the wife said, it's so good, it's only $3,000. The husband said, what? How the hell do you buy a vacuum cleaner that is $3,000? Of course, I cannot verify whether it's 3,000 is correct or not. But husband's reaction is that, oh my God, I thought it's only $160. You are telling me that the vacuum cleaner is $3,000. What the hell is that? Right? So what did you notice about this? The blueprints, and the action when they go back to their own self, one love to spend, one love to hoard. So if they don't have this agreement of family rules to discuss the budget, this little thing about just a vacuum cleaner can create a big hoo-ha if similar things happen again and again. And you notice that the divorce rate in Singapore is 25% currently based on what I know in 2017 statistic. 7,500 couples actually divorced in the year of 2017. I'm talking to all the K, I've done my research. Okay, so the question is that the couples divorced because one, money issue. Number two, they started not understanding each other. So how do you apply BANKCODE to this situation? Number one, very simple. Know your opposite, how they behave. How do they make their decision? So the wife will need to seek understanding of the husband. And similarly, the husband seeks the understanding of the wife. So whenever there's a household decision, it always requires rules or budget or agreement, whatever you like to call this, so that both sides understand there is a budget, there is a freedom to spend within the budget, so that $3,000 versus $160 story would not happen. Number two, when they make a family decision that is a collective decision, they need to consult each other. They are not going to make that decision and then come back and say that, oh, I make a decision to do this, and I'm coming back to report to you. How many of you actually notice that couples who are doing this? They do their own things first and report. And for first time, you may forgive the person. Second time, third time, I don't know how many times you can tolerate the person. That causes divorce, which is not money related. If you agree that a marriage is a partnership, it requires two hands to clap. In order for two hands to clap, you need to understand each other. Okay? So for example, this is me. This is, hey, where is my card? Here. There's my wife. So my wife, me, my wife. So our collective decision is that whenever there is a seminar, which is for personal development, or is a common interest between us, we go together. We stay together, we learn together, we go together. So sometimes you will see in the live events, I have my wife with me. It's because my wife is the one who signed up for the seminar, not me. Okay, but I will go to support her, and she may ask me questions because the knowledge says, no worries, I'm helping you to deconstruct what the guy said. I can remember what he said. By the way, let me help you to recall all the learning. And then who makes the decision? You can guess in a husband and wife situation, who makes the decision? Me or her? Husband, you know, right? If you think if your answer is you, then good luck. Okay, if you are the wife, you know that it's always true, right? So when the investment decision has to be made, you sell to the wife. Because wife makes decision. In my case, same. Go and swipe the card. And I remember one of the National Achiever Congress 2 years ago, that was the one when Gary Vaynerchuk was in Singapore. She went to buy that course. Result in the end, the course cannot be fulfilled. She has to ask for refund from Success Resources. She was one of those who, hey, good lad, the course is so good. Hey, should I buy? Before I even opened my mouth, she went to the back and buy already. So fast too. I say, wow. Like the guy hasn't finished the speech. The guy's presentation is still like 2/3 to go, you know. Went already to buy. Okay? So therefore, I know her pattern. Very worst to say, right? I know her pattern. So in BANKCODE, we say, I understand her behavior. So in seminar, we go together, we stay together. And then in the non-COVID-19 situation, I am a house husband. It means that during the weekend, I do my husband's and my father's duty to support her so that she won't be seen as the one taking care of the families, chauffeuring all the kids to enrichment classes. I'm the one. When I'm ever in Singapore weekends, I will discharge this duty. So that's how we have been practicing BANKCODE and have been married for 24 years. So you see the vacuum cleaner story, you see this story, you tell me that BANKCODE doesn't work on your relationship, I have nothing to say. Okay? So that answered the question. All right, so in a moment, I'm going to share the screen. But before I share the screen, any questions for me before I move on to the screen? I know that we have half an hour more, so my time management this time is better than last time. Okay? So does gender affect BANKCODE also? I don't think so. I have never seen gender affect BANKCODE because you can be a blueprint wife and an action husband, or it can be a knowledge wife and a nurturing husband. It will still work because the values is independent of gender. So Junxian, this is my answer to you. All right, so anything? Okay, so without anything you want to talk about tonight, before I move on to the question, I mean, what if the same code? Junxian, unmute yourself, talk to me on this. Don't get you.
Okay. So what I mean is, let's say the code is the same, like K-ban and K-ban.
Or K-ban and K-ban. Okay.
Then does the gender really affect?
Don't think so.
Or
Again,
they are the same.
So when we have a K-ban and K-ban, K-ban means K-B-A-N. So sometimes we like to call this K-ban, K-ban. It's like the way we want to make fun of it. So K-ban, K-ban, Jun's and K-ban and my K-ban can be different. Remember at the beginning I said the advanced assessment will tell you the differences of the score. So your K-ban, you could be 20, 19, 18, 17, which is very balanced. Mine is very extreme because my ANs are on the single digit side. So it boils down to a matter of degree of the scores. So now, even though both of us are K-ban, we now have to look at the score and see what are the differences.
Okay.
Okay, so that was my question. So the CEO, the BANKCODE CEO is by the name of Sherry Tree. So I know one of you, I don't know who one of you, I know when I present Unstoppable, there's a person on Facebook who said, oh, is that the one from Sherry Tree? Yes, it is her system. And I am one of the 3 licensed trainers in the whole freaking Southeast Asia who are authorized and be able to train BANKCODE. So that's the reason why you may hear Sherry, but you don't see Sherry coming back because Sherry cannot come back. She and her wife have just delivered their first baby. By the way, when I mention Sherry and her wife, because they are both lesbian, and they are a very famous lesbian couple, married for 5 years already, and their wedding anniversary is 8th of August. That one cannot forget. Because the story was that I happened to chance upon the Facebook Live of them wedding ceremony. I see both of them kiss each other. That imprint is still here, very sharp and clear. I'm not against them, but that imprint for me is like, oh my God, I will never forget that kiss in my life. It's not mine, but that kid's. But I'm happy to work with them because both are very understandable, both are very successful couple. They are very successful couple. And Sherry just gave birth to their son by the name of Kai. I think it's 10 weeks now. And Sherry, for the next 2 years, she won't be flying out of the US. That's what I know. Because the son is more important than anything. Okay? So Stella said, when we do the trading class, I remember my bank code is different from the current ones. Do you have any idea why it changes suddenly? Well, stress code might be, Stella, for you could be a stress code happening, or it could be some situation that give rise to a particular behavior. And that's how you respond to that. So some of you may recall I talk about, like, I don't know whether you're aware, because not everyone would see my Facebook post, by the way. I did say that one of my Facebook posts 2 weeks ago, that must be my blueprint that triggers, because I begin to see, I know in this room there are Malaysians, so no offense to the Malaysian here, so please don't get me wrong. I do know that Malaysians, they do live events now, not more than 250 people, and I know the rules. So I just said, wow, the moment I see some people doing their live events, I'm fearful. I'm just saying that my blueprint is triggered. I'm very concerned. I don't think I'm able to run this kind of live events. I just mentioned this. And then I got one lady I know, because he's trained by Joe Bauer, and she was a bit furious, like she came to bat at me and say, you know what, the reason why we have to do this live event is because we have collected the money, we have to fulfill the responsibility, or else we are deemed as scams. Okay, fine, do your live event. It's okay. I'm just sharing my blueprint. Calm down. Like this is why, Stella, I mentioned that I could have said something that triggered you, or somebody has said something, or a situation has triggered you something. So it's your awareness of, ask yourself what has happened that triggers you to behave that. Just because your blueprint is not the first or the second, it doesn't mean that you don't have fear. Hello? All human beings has fear. Just because your blueprint is not the first and second doesn't mean that you won't go to NTUC or Giant to snatch all your toilet paper. Because at that moment, when you see everybody buys toilet paper, I don't care whether your blueprint is high side or low side, it might be triggered, and you go ahead and buy the toilet paper too. So therefore, it could be a situation. It could be an unprecedented situation that you haven't seen in your life before, and you just react based on that blueprint. This is regardless of what is your blueprint, what is your score. That can happen. Okay, so that's why, knowing this COVID-19 situation, I have a deeper understanding of the blueprint. Knowing my blueprint is second, quite high, I now still know a bit more about the blueprint's behavior for some people, especially those where the blueprint is on the low side. Right? Okay, thank you. Understand. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going ahead to answer the questions on the posted to me. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so these are the questions. These are called the specific question. All right, so let me see. So the question is, can I say one of the purpose of understand BANKCODE? Okay, so this is the question. Let me see if I can blow this up so that some of you can see this clearly. Like some of you, your eyesight may be better than mine, but some of you, your eyesight may be like mine, cannot see. Okay, so let me blow this up. So the question is, can I say one of the purpose of understanding BANKCODE is to have a balance of each code? The answer is, it might be. When I say balance, it means this. When you're first and second, and you are aware you're third and the fourth, sometimes, like I said earlier, you may need to exhibit the behavior that is on your last code. In a room where you need to do training and coaching, when your end is like mine, very low, I don't want you to come up with this idea. My job is to train, get the job done, say bye. If that is the way you train, please stop training. Come to one of our events and learn how to run the events properly. Okay, please don't do that. Okay, you know that David's nurturing is very high. So some of you know David's nurturing is very high. My nurturing is low. How can I partner with him? Because I need to adjust my end to his level to be so caring. I have to raise my nurturing in order to do this. Okay, so that is me. So it can be balanced. At the same time, I want to bring up the business intelligence. So the business intelligence part of that equation is that when you know your customer's avatar, which I know Melvin talked about it, David talked about it, Elsa, you know, Jack also talked about it, is that everyone talk about customer avatar. But one thing that they will not talk about it, but I do, is this customer avatar that is based on your BANKCODE. Because only BANKCODE people will talk about this. So now let's talk about what is a customer avatar. Customer avatar is not just your ideal clients. It is called your bull's-eyes client. Why is that important? It's because for bull's-eyes client, imagine you play darts, you know there's a bull's-eyes. If you hit the bull's-eye, you get 50 points, right? So for those who play darts, you know it's 50 points. But what if you are not hitting the bull's-eye? You hit the outer ring, will you still get some points? Some, maybe the outer ring 25, or maybe other areas of the dartboard, unless you completely miss it. Okay, that is another question. But when you aim at bullseyes, you can hit the outer rings, which gives you some points. That is why we emphasize knowing customers' avatar as your bullseyes clients, you at least will hit somewhere on your dartboard and get leads. Okay, that's where we're talking about what we're talking about. Imagine you don't know your ideal clients, you just anyhow fire. It's like playing a dart game with blindfolded your eyes, you just anyhow throw. The chances of you hit the bullseyes very low. If it happens, it is dumb luck. And the chances of not hitting the dartboard will be high because you are just anyhow fire. So that's why we emphasize customers' avatar. Now, then how do I integrate BANKCODE with customers' avatar? That is, if I know that I primarily attract entrepreneurs. So if my target clients are entrepreneurs, those types like David Trust type, my marketing message has to be specific to that one code or two codes. I don't need to pay attention to the blueprint because David's blueprint is very low, by the way. Okay, that is him. So if your message happens to have blueprint, you're wasting a bullet. So what if you know your customer's avatar by collecting your data from your clients? What types of clients you normally attract and have the BANKCODE in place, which is like I did at the beginning, 41% of the people in this room tonight are K. So when you have that data, now you can structure your marketing message focusing on the Ks, because I do attract a lot of Ks in my BSE Facebook group. This is weird. When I say weird, it's because in the other areas, I attract a lot of Ns and As. So when you see my post nurturing action type on Facebook, like how come I can create a post that is action and nurturing? Because I attract majority of entrepreneurs, business owners in the As and Ns. I have my numbers, I have my data. That's why from a business intelligence perspective, once you know the data, you can make the informed decision of how to structure your market message to make sure that you don't waste your bullet. In the good old days, where before I learned business intelligence, I was told that you need to write a post that speaks to all four codes. In a training, perhaps you have to, because you never know who are there in your room. But imagine when you're writing a copy, does it make sense for you to write a copy that will hit all four codes? That was my perception in the past, because that's how I was trained. But right now, what I learned from business intelligence is that I don't need that anymore. If I know who I attract, I can structure my post based on that BANKCODE or maybe the first two code, done. I don't need to waste my time to talking to people that I don't attract. But in order to do that, you need the data. That's why I keep saying that if you don't have this data, you cannot do that. This is business intelligence. Okay? So meaning working on the weaker personality, going back to the question, is balance of each code, meaning working on the weaker personality. I won't say weaker. I like to say on the low side, the lower side of your code, lower side, the third and the fourth, to be more specific, so that it can be on par. It depends on situation. Remember, it's always situation. Your behavior is displayed based on situation. Okay, it's not like your behavior will be the same in all situations. It can't be. At the edge of the cliff, your behavior will be very different from the behavior you have in your comfort, at the comfort of your home. Does that make sense? So your behavior will be different. Depends on context. So what we are saying is that, first of all, you know where you stand right now, your point A. And now you know how to raise your third and the fourth if needed, or how to handle the third when it comes to stress. And you know what is stress to you. So it's awareness first, and then do something about it. That's the whole concept of BANKCODE. How can I expand? The second question is, how can I expand the blueprint of my BANKCODE? I love the fact that it's called expansion, because it's expanding the comfort zone, not expand the blueprint. Okay, how do I raise the blueprint? Okay, this would be from someone where the blueprint is on the low side, right? Okay, what specific steps do I do? Do you know this is the blueprint question? What specific steps do I do? If you know, you laugh, please. You can say haha on the chat. If you don't get what I'm saying, I say again, that this question, what steps do I take? Who asked that kind of question? What steps? Blueprint. Interesting, right? How can I expand my blueprint? Awareness. How can I do more? Well, again, it goes back to the question of where is your blueprint right now? So let me just take a look of the person here. The B is on the low side. It's a KNAB. I don't have the name here because I purposely hide this. It's a KNAB. How do I expand on the on that? Number one, before you start doing things, because it's a KNAB, right? So KNAB, what you do, number one, I know you don't like to plan, but is it possible? Are you willing to plan before you do? Are you willing? Are you able to come up with some ideas and then plan? The thing about entrepreneurship is that many times I work with people who is high A, they come up with the ideas and just do it. But what if you before you prepare, or before you come up with, after you have come up with ideas, you just cannot anyhow fire, because your ammunition is limited. In other words, your resources are limited. So what if you can plan in advance? You have ideas, you plan, so that you structure this campaign or this activity in advance, so that you know what resources do you need, what resources currently do you have, what is the timeline, who is responsible for this and that. Yes, I know blueprint will find this tough to do. However, these are the essential steps. If you find that you can't do this because you do not enjoy, not because you can't, you just don't enjoy, then you will just find a blueprint in your life to come out and help you and pay the person something. So do something by looking for a blueprint in your life. Okay, so that would be my answer. What specific step? Does it mean that, first of all, comment on the chat, is it possible for a low blueprint to do blueprint thing? I'll ask again, is it possible for a low blueprint to do blueprint things? Is it possible? Yes, and there's no dispute, right? How difficult would this be for a person who doesn't like to organize or plan to start preparing, to start organizing and start structuring something? How difficult would that be at the beginning? How difficult? You can say very, you can say no way, oh my God. Yeah, so at the beginning, because everything we do is activity, which is a skill set required. So if it is difficult to you, it's just because it is new to you. But notice that if you have been brushing teeth every day, I hope that you do, brushing teeth is not hard. The first time when you brush your teeth is tough, because I don't know how to handle the toothbrush and the toothpaste. But you have been doing this every single day for so many years. It becomes easy. So the question is that every single activity can be trained. It's a question of whether you are willing or not. So if you are not willing, then there's nothing I can talk. So if you are willing, then we can talk. The next thing I ask myself is, you see that I'm actually answering in the blueprint rate. I'm handling 1 point after 1 point. The next thing I'm looking at is, I want to ask, if I were to do this myself, is it productive? Which is a lot of people's problem, the freelancers' problem in the S quadrant, because they don't see themselves being able to outsource this witness to someone else, because they don't trust other people. Even though they don't enjoy it, they force themselves to do it. So Elsa, we talked about last night, right? So this is called Are you willing to outsource something that you don't enjoy? If you don't, then nothing we can talk about. However, if you do, then we can explore all these options, all these ways to outsource the activities that you don't enjoy doing it. And then suddenly by asking the right question, what you focus will expand. When you're asking this question, what is the one thing you would do such that by doing this, everything else becomes unnecessary, everything else becomes easy and unnecessary. You have seen me post this question on my Facebook for at least 1 whole month. What is the one thing you focus such that by doing this thing, everything else becomes easy and unnecessary? I can remember the whole question now because I've been working on the whole question for 1 whole month. I can say it like that now. See, at first I need to go through my book, go through my menu just to focus on what exactly is languaging. Now I can say it to you, same thing, because I've been doing this for 1 whole freaking month. Okay, so now if you started willing to do it, if you started being able to do it because you're willing, then do it. If not, then ask the question and see what will come back to you. When you post a question out, you get a feedback from the universe, and the universe might say, go and find Junxian. High blueprint is there. But Junxian is going to serve our country very soon. So, but Junxian is not serving the country like forever. And Junxian has done something called planning in such a way that during the weekdays, he has to report to our army, but during nighttime, I've already opened to look for him. That some of our friends who were in NS in Singapore make 6 figures while they are in NS. I gave him the option. Even though you are serving the army, it doesn't stop you from making 6 figures while you are serving the army. Because we have one friend in Singapore who did that. So after he served the NS, he came out, he's already financially free. Can you imagine? So nowadays, everything is possible. It's a question of whether you're willing to get Junxian to help you to do something. And his organizational skill is good. I've seen that. And he is a very damn good reminder because he prompted me, Jack, are you doing this? Are you doing that? I kena a few times from him. Yeah, are you going to do this? He posed a question to me. I say, no, I'm not. So the blueprint is there. So the question is that, are you having blueprints in your life such that by having the blueprint say yes to you, you don't need to worry about anything else on planning, organizing, and structuring stuff. Okay, so that would be my answer. The next question is how to build trust, rapport, relationship with different BANKCODE personality. Number 1, you need to crack the code of that person first, no matter what. So if you're cracking someone who is a KB, you need to make sure to build rapport by giving facts, data, statistics. But if the person happens to be AN, no facts, no data, no statistic, maybe just a fist bump and a heart. The heart is this, a fist bump and a heart. That's what I mean. Okay, this is not a heart, by the way. How do you build relationship? Spend time. Who will ask this question, by the way? So without looking at the BANKCODE, but just looking at this question, who likely will ask this question? Would that be the N? KB? There you go. It's a BK asking this question. How do I know? Because the BK or KB have this problem. It can't be N. N is damn good in building rapport. N may have difficulty in trusting someone because they didn't spend enough time to get deep on the relationship. But this is a very logical question. How do I? The moment you say, how do I, you're looking for steps. And who will ask that kind of how do I question? The how people. So in BANKCODE, who are the how people? The B's and the K's. Or K may ask what, okay, but B definitely will ask for how. So it's primarily the blueprint is talking. Is it finding fun? By seeing the question, you can tell which BANKCODE is talking. How can I use it to chat with other prospects? So the outcome is to understand more about BANKCODE, how to use it in my unit trust business. It doesn't matter what business are you in, because all businesses have one thing in common. Can anyone guess? In all businesses, there's only one thing in common. And see who can read my mind. In all businesses, there's one thing in common. Clients. Yup. And you. You and client. And how do you categorize this relationship? I talked about this in last month. It's not B2C. It's not B2B. It's not B to government. It's not B to patient. It's not this, it's not that. But what is that? Thank you, Alice. Good student. H to H. What is H to H? What is H to H? Heart to heart. Yes. And something else? Some more. Human to human. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Human to human. So it doesn't matter whether it's unit trust business, financial industry business, or professional. It doesn't matter. You are speaking to human beings. So I just want to remind or let some of you who haven't been to the masterclass before, this is the first time, let me share with you this story. I work literally with two people in my life who are K and B, who told me this. Is there a way to have a business such that the business will drive on its own without me being involved in talking to people, and I can happily stay behind the screen and let the money come in like ATM? And one of them has happened invested $100,000 from someone in Singapore to start an e-commerce business, but you don't know him or her, someone. And I know, because the person said, wow, you see, so successful. The guy actually said that he made millions of dollars on e-commerce. I have $100,000. I just put $100,000 of my saving with him, hoping that I can stay behind, I can sit behind the screen and let the e-commerce store run on its own. I say, you never know that the computer will not talk to the people. You need to talk to the people to close sales. It may be low ticket item, is automatic fill, but if it's high ticket, then you still have to talk to the person. I think you got something you need to sort out. This is a K talking to me. And then this year, someone talked to me again. Similar, same, but different. It's not e-commerce store. He just want to ask me, is there a way I can clock sales, I can have sales without talking to people? I say, depends on what type of sales are you talking about. And he said, oh no, because Jack, you high ticket sales. High ticket sales. High ticket sales, like how much is high to you? A few $1,000s. A few $1,000s. Do you seriously believe that when you close a few $1,000 sales, you don't need to talk to someone? If that is the case, and if you are successful, I want to learn from you too. Because it's not possible. It's human to human. Okay? So all I'm saying is that understand BANKCODE is good by knowing your BANKCODE so that you know where you stand, where is your point A. In BANKCODE, we also said it is still important to know your prospect's BANKCODE. How do you know? I will give you some clue. So this is what one thing we do. Okay, some of you have seen this. Some of you have been told this. Wendy had talked about this. Raymond had talked about this too. So this is our virtual office. Okay, so for example, I go to my Cobrica AI. Okay, and then what happens is that I can go somewhere on my LinkedIn or somewhere I want to crack someone's code. I don't want to type. I don't want to talk to the person, or maybe it's Kevin Harrington's case that I need to talk to the person first. I need to crack the code first before I talk to the person. So I said, okay, so I just want to find something that the guy has written. Okay, maybe this. Okay, so I just need to copy. Okay, Command C, go back to my AI, and Command V. So count 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's a bit. Okay, hang on. Let me see whether it was. What is not working? Okay, so this is a very bad demo because the 1, 2, 3 doesn't turn out anything. Let me just refresh it one more time. I hope that it works. It should work by right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So, okay, maybe this post has some bug that it doesn't turn out. Oh no, it's the server. The server is slow. Okay, you see, the post come back KNBA. So this means that at the time when the person write this post, it is talking as if he is a KN. When you communicate with this person, what you do, you can go to respond in the code. You want to text out certain messages. Then what you do is to type response. Okay, so again, I'm just doing it very quickly. It's a KN, right? The KN is this. Okay, I love what you say. It's so damn cool. Love it. Love it, man. Hey, do you know what is the fast way to make $1 million in sales? Okay. If you want to find out more, have a chat. Bye. So this is your natural response. Without knowing BANKCODE, this is your natural response. Assuming this is your natural response. So when you type it on your AI, what happens is you do decode, and then decode is a raw match. Because your post is very action. And what happens is that this is a KN. A is on the low side. So if you type this, sure will get triggered. Sorry, tripwire. In this case, will be tripwire. So jialat, what do I do? Okay, so I will change that. KN. Dear sir, or dear Jack, have you done some form of research about this investment? If not, are you willing to consider conducting some due diligence to allow you to understand how this investment can help you to grow your network of close friends and close friends? How about we connect at some point to discuss, and let's make this a movement. So if that is the response, what do I do? Let's see. Raw match. So even at my level, although I've intentionally put, because you see that my K and N are high, but somehow I put some blueprint things inside. So then I need to find out what is the blueprint thing. So the point is that you want to come up with a post that corresponds with the code, the KN. And then by doing this, what happens is that you have a perfect match. And then your chances of connecting with the person will be high because KN speaking in KN, there's a connection. So that's what AI will do. So do you need to speak to someone at this point in time? No. All you need to do is to find something the person has written, the person has spoken, the person has done in form of video. You can transcribe it into words. And all you need to do is just post it to your AI and let the AI tell you in nanoseconds what is the BANKCODE. The BANKCODE is the BANKCODE at the time when the person writes the post. So when you go to my Facebook, just an example, you see that today I didn't do anything. In the weekdays, I will do this. Like all the posts that I put up, I will end up with something called a BANKCODE analysis. So you can see that this post is an AN, this post is a BA, this post is KA. So I can vary. And the reason why this is important to know is at that point in time, what is your mood? What do you want to write? So at that time, because of the objective, you can write different posts, even though your code is K-BAN. Okay, so I can write a post that is high K. I can write a post on high B, high A, high N. I can do anything because there's a particular situation or scenario I need to achieve. So I am able to write different things using different codes. And I've used the AI to validate, okay, is this post very high end or is that post very high K? So this is how I see whether I'm connecting with certain people too. So this is how I'll answer the question about how to connect with the person without speaking to the person. And the solution nowadays is AI. This is the answer. Okay? So coming back, next thing, how do I chat with other prospects? So the other prospect, send the link to that person. If he's okay to crack the code online, then you get the code. Or just now you have seen these cards. So this is called the bank value cards. Like in the old days, I say old days because now we cannot run live events. I cannot see you in person. Not to say we cannot, but it's a restriction. So we have a set of value cards. And what we do is that we can ask the person to sort the cards before we start the conversation. Okay, so this is what we teach in bank fundamentals too. So this is another tool. So we can do this live physically, seeing one-on-one, or we can ask the person to crack the code online, and so that I get the report, so that I know in advance who am I speaking to in terms of bank code. So I know like Monday I'm speaking to someone who is an NK. So in my mind, I know what is the conversation looks like, sounds like, and what is the script I need to use to close the person. Closing a KN or NK is a different story compared with closing someone who is a BA or AB. It's a very different script. Okay, so this is what I will do. I would like to learn more. So this question I would talk to the person who asked privately, because not everyone is ready for this. So if you are that person, I know who you are, but I don't want to reveal you. So if you are interested in that, talk to me privately. I'm happy to show you the path of being a certified coach. So for those who want to think about the certified coach aspect, in case you don't know what I did on last Sunday's Facebook Live, some of you were on my Facebook Live last Sunday. And the topic is what is coaching and how do you create a freaking awesome coaching program? You may not know what I did, but since you are in my masterclass, so let me show you what I did. So the sixth thing you need to do is personality intelligence. But I never say that. Sales intelligence, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence. I have used business intelligence a few times. Business intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Why did I say 6? Because this is our intelligent operating system coaching, iOS, which cover all 6 areas. It is the freaking awesome program that I set on my last Sunday's Facebook Live. But I've never ever mentioned that program. And as a result of doing that, I did have people come to me and ask what this program is about. There's the power of seeding without saying the name of the program. There's what I teach in my speakers training. By the way, I'll just seed you something. This is what I did in my speakers training. That I teach my students how to sell without sell, how to say something without saying, how to pitch without being pitchy. So the entire Facebook Live is a pitch of Bank iOS coaching. And I did it for 90 minutes, 90 minutes. I got a sale. Someone paid $5,000 to me. I closed the deal, 5,000. How many of you would love to do 90 minutes? Sell without selling and get a $5,000 sales. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay, coming back. Next. Is selling fun? Yeah, of course. If you know what to sell, how to say, how to use the script, of course. How do I apply BANKCODE in my life business? The relationship I talked about already, the business is very simple. When I say simple, it's not that easy. That is number one, you need to ask yourself, what is your current problem right now or challenge? Is it closing sales? Is it lead generation? So for lead generation issues, ours is bank pass. So this is what you have. You see that last month I didn't show you this. This month I think some of you want to know more, that's why I'm showing you all this. So this is what happened in BANKPass. Okay, so if I go to my virtual office, so this is BANKPass. So what is a BANKPass? BANKPass is the crack the code. So you see that I have a link here, and this link is the link that is unique to you as a subscriber. Okay, so let's say mine is crackmycode.com/Jack Wong. That is mine, and I sometimes use bit.ly on my Facebook to show you. I have a variety of versions of my crack the code link. So what happened is this. So this link is only to the subscriber. When you are a subscriber of the BANKPass, what happens is that you will be having your own access code. All you need to do is do what I do, or you may be more intelligent. So this is what I do. I said I finished a post, and all I did is just to say something like today. Okay, so this is, let me see. Okay, this is the example. So go to this link, crack the code, you get a report, 24 page, value $97. That is it. Because what happened for BANKPass, it is a lead generation tool. So I don't need a landing page. I have already got my ethical bribe, which is this 24 page report. And when somebody cracked the code, you as a subscriber, you get a notification someone has cracked the code, and this is his name, his number, his email. Email is there. So then you will follow up with that person to do something. So for example, the reason why you're in this room is because when you crack the code, what did I promise you? When you crack the code, I'm doing a masterclass to help you deconstruct this. Because I'm a bank trainer, I can do this. And I'm qualified to do this. You guys, you can't do this. Not to say you can't, you need training. And by the way, unless you are a trainer, you can't teach this. This is proprietary. So what can you do with this report? Well, basically, you just go through the report and ask the person whether you have any question. Does this report sound like you? Okay. And then at that point, all you need to do is to build the relationship. Now you have the conversation with that person. This is the one that you are always looking for. Build relationship. You have the first conversation. Oh yeah, this report is so cool. Okay, then you know the person is looking at the BANKCODE. Oh, do you find that does it sound like you? Yeah, it does. And then you have a conversation first. Don't sell the person something until the person has built rapport with you. Number one scene in closing, sell too fast. By the way, I have something that you cannot resist. You will not say it now. If you don't say it now, you regret for the rest of your life. The Jets here says, I don't even know you. Why are you selling me so fast? So this is why when people are struggling with connection, leverage this opportunity to create a conversation. I was just informed that you have cracked the code, and thank you for doing that. By the way, do you have some time we can discuss about this report? This is a very simple strategy. This one I can give it to you now. And then you can create conversation. And then depends on how the conversation goes, you can put the person on the interest list. You can put the person on a ready to sell list, or that person may have bought from you straight away, assuming the person knows you. So you can put the person into different bucket or basket. Depends on situation. So this is one way you can use the BANKPass. And that's it. Okay, coming back to the question. So let me stop sharing. Okay, so how do I use BANKCODE in my life? So life is relationship by yourself. So how do you use BANKCODE, apply BANKCODE in your life? Be aware of your BANKCODE, be aware of your stress code, be aware what is the context you are in right now, so that you need to raise the elements of a particular code, which might be on your natural side or maybe on the low side, you never know. So it's just to make sure that in my case, when I have to raise my end, I know my resources, I know my method, I know how to do that. So how about you? It requires experience, and test it out, practice with this. Okay? So next question is, the rate of action varies from person to person. Yes. because it's the context. How to increase the action mode in a person. This one must be a bit low. Otherwise, it would not be like this. This the A is low side, right? Only low A will talk about this. How to raise it, right? So how to raise it? Number one, trust your gut. As I said earlier, trust your gut. Because your gut will make a decision. G-U-T-N, not anything else. Huh? Your gut decision. Okay, exercise the gut. Gut is not here. Gut is not the heart. Gut is somewhere below. Gut feeling, that's what we say. Your instinct, your gut will guide you 99% of the of the times where you make the right decision. How do you know? Because if you don't make a decision that you feel right, your gut will tell you. How the hell do I know? Because I use gut to make my final move of that decision. Of course, in between, I plan, I decide what to do. I know my game plan very well before I press the button, use the gut. Please go ahead. Should I do it or should I not do it? Okay? And sometimes you realize that when you need to think so long or have to have a hard time of making that quick decision, and you are not able to make the decision because there are conflicts, then the other faster way is to find someone to talk to. And remember, I said you may be in a blind spot right now that you can't see, but somebody happened to see your blind spot. I can tell you, hey, why not you think about this? Then you can do it now. Oh, yeah, thank you. So leverage someone who can see your blind spot to make a decision faster. This is another way. Okay? Okay, so the WTB is the person is not here tonight. WTB stands for why they buy. So we don't teach people how to sell. We actually teach our client, our customers, why their customers buy. What's the motivation? Why they say yes to you? And that's what we teach in BANKCODE. Okay, so there is a particular webinar, live event called Why They Buy is for us to sell BANKCODE, but the person is not here tonight, so I'm not going to deal with this. Next question. Looking at the values of each code, it is quite difficult to decide which is one for me, understand? In fact, I feel I'm all for. Yes, all of you, don't you notice that you have all four? You have all four. It's not MBTI, where you have the introvert, you cannot be extrovert. No, no, no. Yeah, but this is what MBTI said. It's either this or that. There's the problem with MBTI. Okay? So you all have four. The question is that the degree, the extent, the score, right? So any opportunity to become a BANKCODE consultant or certain role? Yes, if you are interested in working with me in doing this business, private message me. I'm happy to talk about business opportunities. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this here because not everyone likes this or is ready for this. So if you are interested, you can talk to me. I can give you options to work with me. Okay? Because right now I'm a band certified coach. I've been I'm a band certified trainer since 2013. Okay, so I can train, and I'm now a band certified iOS coach. So I can do the iOS coaching now. Okay, so I can do both. So if you are interested, talk to me. Let's explore how to work together. But first of all, I need to know your BANKCODE. I need to know you. I need to see whether we are good fit. So it doesn't mean that because you are in my BSE Facebook group, you will naturally be my joint venture partner. No, no, no. There's still qualification steps. Okay. So I know human behavior will change. Okay, so this one I forgot to share the screen. Sorry, I should have shared the screen. Okay, so I know human behaviors will change time to time. Really? I don't know. According to emotion, mood, and awareness. Oh, okay, yeah, because of that, yeah. How BANKCODE solve this problem without asking that person to crack the code again? You can't. You can. There's one thing called in our code breaker. There's this event. I personally have taught a few times already. So this is called the. Let me see whether I'm coming to the right thing. Okay, Code Breaker Summit. Okay, so when live events are there, last year in 2018, I actually ran 8 of this in Singapore and Malaysia. Okay, 8 is called Code Breaker Summit. So this is a live event. Okay, so what happened is that one of the things that we teach is called speed coding. Speed coding is a process whereby you will be taught how to ask questions with the prospect. So without asking the prospect to crack the code, so I'm looking at two scenario here. One is that you don't want to get the prospect to sort the card or online, offline. You want to have a conversation to get the code. So speed coding, this is what we teach. We actually teach a certain formula whereby within 3 minutes, so Sherry would say that you can crack all 4. Jack is a bit over deliver, under promise. So I would say that in 3 minutes, you know the first, you know the last, the second and third. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But when I taught speed coding in Malaysia, in Singapore, I've got 2 cases where in the game simulation, the students actually get full marks, full score. Like each time when you crack the 4 codes correctly, you get 20 points. You play all together 6 rounds times 2, so your 6 rounds. So one maximum score is 120. So I've got 2 students, one from Malaysia, one from Singapore, who got 120 by me teaching them just 1 day. So it is possible. But Jack, when I was a participant in this process, David and I got only 20 out of 120. So we failed. So the person who was talking about BANKCODE today went to this process and failed miserably. Not to say that it doesn't work. It's just that this process, it depends on who. Some people get it fast. Some people like me will get it slow until you master this. So this speed coding process is you ask certain questions to get the code. That's why we call speed coding. So in the activity we do, what happens is that we will put you on hot seat and you are supposed to crack the code by having a 3-minute conversation. How long? 3 minutes. And you get the code of the first and the last. Second and third depends. That's what my promise is. Okay, so this is the answer. So assuming that you are not talking to the prospect, you are not facing the prospect, this is the only thing that you have. The limitation is that you are not with that person. So you cannot do speed coding. Then what do? Well, the only thing I can tell, AI. AI is exactly what I've just demonstrated. AI is the only way that I know. Because if you cannot talk to that person, you want the person's code, then what else can you do? The only way I know is to use AI and nothing else. If you are talking to the person, but you cannot sort the card or you cannot do crack the code online, then speed coding is the strategy. So I offer you 2 ways. Okay? How to reach out fellow K, high K. Oh, you mean you reach out to me, right? That question. If I should also craft to capture all types too. So I've explained this. If you know your target is K, then naturally speaking, you will be very comfortable in having conversation with the case. You should be okay with that, right? So it should be tough. The only question I have is when you are speaking to someone who is not K, then you do need to know how to connect with the other 3. Now, the next thing is that you are in the fitness Muay Thai coach, and I know who you are. I'm not going to review you. Don't worry. Because this is you. I know this you. I remember who you are. The case have very good memory. When I remember your background, I do remember you. Okay, so the question is that if you are K and you are closing a K, and let's suppose that you can't close, then it's not BANKCODE's problem. It's the offer problem. So the question is that the K closes K, by right it should be okay, but the assumption is that your offer has to be irresistible. So coming back to what we taught in speakers training, or David has his own program, how do you create an offer that is sexy, that's sizzling, and is irresistible, no-brainer offer, so that the K will say, okay, I'll buy. So for the same matter, if you are talking to the A's, and the reason why you describe the offer in the A's way and you can't close, it's not the BANKCODE's problem, it's the offer problem. So notice that BANKCODE is one part of the equation. That is you are using the script, you're using your languaging that's speaking the prospect's code to close the person. But the assumption requires you to say that your offer is something that is good and this awesome offer that no problem you will close. But if the offer itself has a problem, then regardless of what languaging you use, you will still have a problem, fundamental one. 3 reasons why people don't buy. Number 1, not the right time. I experience it most of the time. The person is willing to buy, but it's not the right time. Don't force the person to buy if it's not the right time. Number 2, the person doesn't trust you. That is your fault. Because in a rapport building and connection, you still haven't done your part to create the trust. That's your fault. Number 3, it is your offer is not clear. The person said, thank you, Junxian. Your offer, I actually don't know what it is about. Like I have so many questions. How do you close a question? How do you close a prospect when the person doesn't understand your offer? So it's an offer problem. Okay? And as a result, so to create an offer, irresistible, there are certain things you need to do. At the same time, how do you present the offer? We BANKCODE will say, first of all, crack the code of that person. Or if you are speaking on stage or in front of the room, you need to speak in all 4 codes. You will use whatever it takes to speak all 4 codes. This is no-brainer offer because the value you get is way beyond the investment you put. And by the way, I'm going to offer this for the first 10 people. I'm just telling you one thing that Robert Kiyosaki says that people will only get once or twice in a lifetime for this kind of opportunity. I don't know how old you are, but you know what? It could be your first one, and some of you may be the last one. I don't know whether it is. I want you to realize that by saying yes to me, you can join this movement to help us to grow this community, to bring this to the next level. Who is with me? I just speak 4 coach. I just speak 4 languages. So this is what I say. When you make the offer, you need to speak 4 codes. This is one technique. It's called power scripting. Okay. So that's all I have. Okay. So that's all I have. Any final comments or questions? So this is called the last piece. You see is 11 o'clock. Although I said I target to finish at 10:30, I over deliver again by half an hour. Okay, let me end the screen. Okay, any questions for me before we end the session tonight? You feel free to unmute yourself.
Jack, I have one question.
Yep, go ahead.
Now, I am KN, that is at least the first 2 of my bank code. And I find it very difficult to ask people for money, even though I would love to pay money to get educated.
Is that true? Is that what I've said? It's very easy for you to pay. It's hard for you to collect.
Well, when I see the offer, I pay. It's not, I just jump into something without the proper tools or proper knowledge.
Yep. So how are you going to deal with this? Now that you are aware of this, how are you going to deal with this?
Well, you said I should learn the value of exchange and then use it.
Well, it's not the value of exchange. It's the definition of exchange. So let me give you the definition here. Okay, so now I'm going to ask my brother to come out. So just hold on for a while. Let me share the screen. This is the button to press. 1, 2, 3. Start. Broadcast. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the screen. So this is the word that we talk about called exchange. What's the definition of exchange? Exchange means that you give something, you get back something. There must be 2-way, not 1-way traffic. And by doing this, the universe will honor this exchange because it's got circulation of flow. Hence, this is called honorable exchange. This is the definition Blair has taught me. Definition of honorable exchange is a genuine exchange whereby you give something out, you get back something. The question is this: why would some people decide to do this? What they do is that they said, I am a natural giver. So my whole life is about giving. And then I feel bad because it could be like the MMI concept. You have some money blueprint issue. So if MMI is run again, or if there's any online MMI, mini MMI, intensive MMI, that you can go for MMI, pay $7 for 3 days just to get the money blueprint sort out. Because it could be your parents who gave you the definition of money their way, which is not useful to you right now. Or it could be a past experience you have that you don't see the money in the way you're supposed to see. Or because of other people's experience and you borrow their experience and say that money is dirty. Okay, so that's all the reasons that I know from MMI. So the money blueprint issue. So what happens is that when you are talking about you give, but you do not receive, in other words, you provide things for free, that what Blair says is criminal exchange. Because the universe does not honor this kind of one-way street. That is, you just give, but you don't ask for anything back. That's why in coaching, I said this, like I can do coaching with you, and some people will ask me, if you are so rich, you are so successful, why don't you go do it for free? And you hear other trainers or speakers, they have their own answer. My answer is very simple. I respect the word exchange. I believe if I'm giving you something, the universe needs circulation. So you need to give me back something, or else this is not something the universe will honor. And the karma effect will happen. The karma effect is this. When you want something for free, so let's suppose you want something for free and you get this. And what happens is that now you are starting to run your business. And your customer, by virtue of that karma effect, will come back to you and ask, like, Sri, why can't you give it to me for free? So that's what I mean by the karma. Because you go and ask for free, your client will ask free service or free delivery of the products from you. It is circulation. That's why criminal exchange is all about your karma. You ask for free, you have your clients coming to ask you for free service. It will happen that way. So the other two types of exchange, I will just keep it very simple and short. There's one called delusional. It's a delusion, not denial, but delusion. Delusion is that you think by doing this, you will get something back, but this is just your own version. You have not talked to the other guy that you have confirmed that you're getting something back. So it's just your delusion, okay, that you think you will get something back. So that's called delusion. Okay, so that is a communication issue. The last one I know, let me call the last one. The last one I cannot remember right now, but I do have the next one. This is also a very important one that is called delay gratification, which is not what the school taught us. Okay, so what's the difference between delay gratification and not asking for money now? So when we say delay gratification, there is still exchange, but it's not an instant return. There is a timeline, like when I do this, I expect something to come back. So if your intention is there will be exchange, it is a matter of time, this is called delay gratification. It's not what I call criminal exchange. Criminal exchange is the intention that you set. That is, by doing this for other people, you don't expect anything back. So this is purely intentionally the sign that I'm not expecting anything back. So if you are struggling with this, go and read this book, the famous rap book called Go Giver. Go and read this book, Go Giver, which is only $24, $25 in Singapore terms. Go and read this book. Because this Go Giver will give you the 5 principles or 5 laws talking about the compensation, the value of service, the exchange, and you will fully understand what I'm talking about. So that's my answer about exchange. And I'm a very big fan of exchange. So let's say, like, I want to work with Blair. I want Blair to teach me something. Do you think Blair will give it to me for free? Forget it. Blair will charge me. When Alex wants to work with, when I want Alex to work with me on something, and you know what Alex has been doing since 2015? Alex till now is still seeding me. I so wish that Jack, you are going to be my $30,000 client. He has been talking about this for 5 years. He has been seeding me for 5 years. You think my seeding skill is good? He is even better. But I have not decided to invest 30K because I do get a lot of value from him such that I don't need to invest $30,000 now. Yeah. So my question is that when you offer something to other people, are you expecting something back? If you are not, then this is the challenge. And that's why I would say that working with the KN or NK, the primary issue is you guys are natural giver. You want to pay money to learn more because the K is kicking you. You want to learn more, and the N say, I learn, I give, I learn, I give. The balancing equation doesn't make sense. You pay to learn and you give, but you don't get anything back. Something is wrong with that equation. And the reason why you don't want to charge is because the money blueprint is an issue. The issue is here. You don't see or you are afraid of asking the money because money is just a piece of paper. It's nothing else. In economic terms, money is the medium of exchange. The problem is that the $1 note and the $100 note is two same pieces of paper by right, but one has some emotional charge. One has less emotional charge. It's the emotion that you attach to the money that give rise to this challenge. And this requires a lot of clearing. By the way, if you find that it's just easy to say, but how to do it, it requires you need to go for clearing, to do a lot of clearing, to remove or to trash out all this thing. Yeah, you need clearing. You cannot just process it yourself. No way. I have never seen success story like this. Okay, does that help?
Yeah,
thank you
very much. Actually, I have participated in the MMI in India.
Okay, good. So MMI India, they mean MMI regardless of which country is held.
Yeah.
It talk about money blueprint. So the question is this: you have been to MMI. What did you do after MMI?
Well, at least I'm following the JAR system and dividing the
Know
money.
that this is not what I'm looking for. This is not the answer I'm looking for. What did you do with the money blueprint? Don't digress, don't divert, because you're avoiding the question. What did you do with that money blueprint? You see how sharp I am? I know you're diverting me already because you don't want to talk about it. And thank you for allowing me to call you out.
Okay, in that case, I don't think I did anything.
And that's what I'm suspecting too. So now the question is that what are you going to do with that? Knowing that this has created this trouble, and I don't even want to ask you how many months, how many years you have been having this problem. Okay, I can ask, but I don't want to ask because you are in a group. I don't think you're ready to share. If it's one-on-one, I would definitely dig. Okay, the question is that how are you going to deal with it? So ask your K, think about it, but don't think too long. Ask your N to connect deeply with the emotion. Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel a sense of unfairness? Do you feel that you can be sometimes angry at yourself?
A lot.
There you go. That's why last month, remember you say you are angry at yourself. Now I know why. Do you see how sharp I am? And this is the K part. The K part will say that because K are the smart people. So sometimes I will have to say this to pat my shoulder and say, good job, Jack. You're so sharp. This is a bragging moment for me. Okay, it's nothing to do with all of you. In case that you find this braggy, sorry, my K needs me to have some endorsement of my self-esteem. Okay, coming back. So work on this. That's all I can say. How? You want to get some clearing coaching, find someone to do it. Okay, it need not be me. I'm not saying that I want to do it. Just find somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other question? And by the way, for Cyber for a while, do you know I just make an offer to him? but I'm not selling him. I'm just speaking of finding a coach or mentor. It need not be me. But what did I say? The last word, it need not be
me.
That is languaging. It's very terrible when you speak to me because I'll find all time, always to, if I see that there's a way I close you, I will do whatever it is to close you. That's how passionate I am in terms of closing. I'm not shy away. I'm not shaming myself on this. That's how good I am. But the but is this. The but. Don't share this outside, please. Like for those who are not in masterclass tonight, don't tell them all this thing, okay? Let them come and experience it, okay? That's please, please, please. Otherwise, you spoil their curiosity. Okay, any other questions? Don't worry, I'm not closing you. You see, I'm not making any offer. I didn't close you. Right? You're laughing, right? But I'm not closing you anything. Do you find that this way is actually a very good way to close somebody, where you don't need to keep selling or seeding or pitching, pushing people to buy, but when you're genuinely giving, you do expect something to be back, right? Remember the karma. That's what I've been talking about. You give values, you nurture these people, they trust you, they see the beauty of working with you. They will knock your door one day and say, I want to have what you have. Please tell me how I can do this. So for those who are going to Unsinkable, enjoy. This is what you experience in the next 2 weeks. Okay, any other question?
Yeah, Jack.
Yes, go ahead.
He here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
You want me to call you he or KY? Because KY...
It's okay. It's okay.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was thinking moving one step forwards about the advanced code breaker. So is that I got to subscribe or
have a private conversation with me first? Don't worry.
Okay.
Have a private conversation because I want you to make sure you know what you're asking for. Because if I'm telling you something, this is not what you expect, you know, that's miscommunication and you will subscribe to the wrong thing. And then in the end, I will be responsible. Have a private conversation on this. Welcome.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. Any other question? Okay, so if you don't have question, I want you to comment on the chat, say good. So if I see all the good, that means I'm done. Good. Okay, good. Good. Okay, good. Okay. So then with that, thank you for this masterclass spending, oh my God, 2 hours. How long? Can someone help me count? 2 hours. We start at 8:30. And what 22 hours and what? I'm frozen already. Like how long? 2 hours and 47 minutes. Shit. How many of you actually learned something tonight? And for those who were here last month, did you find some distinction? Good. That's what I'm asking for. Thank you. So one thing, for those who are not familiar with this process, because you haven't attended my events before, this is your first time, this is what I will do. I'm making a request. The request is that share with me what is the biggest learning from this masterclass. Don't need to post outside. Don't need to post outside the group. Just post the learning in the Facebook group. Okay? So it should be easy. Okay? And then just let other people know and let them feel jealous. They should be here tonight. Because how many people are here by right? We have got 12 people, 13, 14, minus 2 because my brother and I are here. So 70 people, 5 people didn't show up. I don't know whether it will be banning and say, shit, I should be here tonight. Okay? So with that, thank you. Last final thing, any questions? All good before I press the button and say bye-bye to everybody. All good? Okay, good. Then when the days are ready for August, I'll announce. Feel free to come back. I will still continue making distinction for you guys. Okay? So meanwhile, enjoy. So for those who are interested in anything, want to have private conversation with me, just private message me. Okay? So I look forward to working with you guys. Thank you. Have an awesome Saturday night. Bye-bye.